You, like myself, have lived an impoverished life, either through your mother, father, or some other form of guardianship. You may have been raised on government assistance. You may have been raised on food stamps, on Social Security benefits. Some type of governmental system has played a significant role in your provision. But little did you know, you have a wealth call on your life. God has, before the foundation of the world, called you to be in wealthy spaces, called you to live a wealthy life. But you grew up in poverty, but you grew up on rental assistance, but you grew up living in apartment complexes that help pay for rent and help pay for utilities. So that's all you knew. So when you came into adulthood, you knew how to go to those governmental agencies and get these funds. You knew how to call on man to provide for you and help you be able to live at least a sustainable life of some form. You didn't know about the wealth call on your life. You may have even got into relationships because of their ability to provide, or did other things to make provision for yourself because you were unaware of this wealth call on your life. But somehow, some way, you came into knowledge of God, and over time, He began to reveal who you are, and you were able to tap into your gifts. You were able to tap into the calls on your life, and you realized, or it was made aware to you, that you do, in fact, have a wealth call on your life, but yet it's not really manifesting how you think or how it would. And you're starting to tap into your gifts, and you're using your gifts to create finances for yourself. God has given you the ability to obtain some type of wealth, but you're stuck in the middle. You still have this poverty, you still have this government assistance that you can rely on, and you're trying to move forward and trust God with your gifts and talents and allowing Him to use what He embedded on the inside of you to create your provision. So you're in the middle. But God has said that it is now time for the belly of poverty to regurgitate you. It is time for you to be regurgitated from the belly of poverty. And how that is yes, the same mechanism how it works in the natural, so is it in the spirit. You were once consumed by poverty and partially digested. It could not take you wholly because of who you are, because you do have a wealth call on your life. It couldn't digest you wholly and fully. It can only partially digest you. And now you are getting so big, just as the natural mechanism of how regurgitation and vomiting works. When something consumed begins to stretch the abdominal walls, it starts to weaken the stomach, and it starts to weaken the sphinx in the esophagus, and it has to come up. So you in your wealthy space, you with that wealthy call on your life in the belly of poverty, you are moving and shaking, and you are making strides by the power of God and what He spoke on your life coming to fruition. And now poverty has to regurgitate you up and regurgitate you out. Now, this process in itself is not a pretty process. And that's why your finances are being tested right now. And that's why it seems like everything is running a charge on your card, and all these bills are coming up, and debt is trying to show. And even the people that you leaned on once for provision are starting to question how you get to make what you making now when you just told us you didn't have. Now it's starting to all come up because poverty is regurgitating you. And so, yes, while this process may not be pretty, and while this process may not feel good, because the act of regurgitation is not a pleasant experience for the one who is regurgitating, it is not a pleasurable experience in our human experience if we have to vomit some things that we consume. It begins to make the esophagus burn, the throat starts to burn. There's all kind of acids and things that were digesting in the belly that now has to come up. So this process of you being rejected by poverty may not feel good, but hold on, hallelujah, because the wealth couldn't come down to where poverty was. Poverty is going to have to release you and spit you out. So while it may not be a pretty process right now, when all the contents of you are released, you will be free to receive the blessings and the miracles and the financial breakthroughs that are making its way to you. It's already here. You just got to come out to meet it, because wealth is not going to meet poverty. Poverty got to give it up. And so that is what's happening by way of the Spirit. So while you may be enduring trials and temptations, the Bible says, consider it a pure joy when you face diverse temptations and trials, because you know that the testing of your faith is working perseverance, and God is just refining you right now to make sure that when you enter into that wealthy place, you're going to be rooted, you're going to be solid, you're going to be grounded, you're going to be having patience, you're going to have trust in knowing that He is the provision, and you will not lean on those past ways to make a way. So be blessed, stand firm, stay strong, and know that God is fighting with you, and your wealthy place is here.